Oh, right. Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about another recent fight announcement for UFC 314, and it is a title fight. We're getting Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Kara France, and I think this fight made a lot of sense. I'm glad that they made it. They've been struggling to find Pantoja opponents, but with Kai Kara France beating Usyk and knocking him out in the first round, I believe it was the first round, it makes a lot of sense to give him Kai Kara France. And then we also have a bunch of fights coming up. Like we have Brandon Royval versus Manel Kopp, I believe that's a title eliminator. That should be a really good fight. So whoever wins that is going to get their rematch against Pantoja. Both of them have already fought him. Royval twice, and Manel Kopp in his UFC debut actually fought Pantoja and did a decent job considering he didn't really fight with any urgency. That's a rematch I do want to see. And then we got Asu Almabayev in the wings. I'm so upset. I have Asu Almabayev future tickets for him to be champion at end of 2025. I got plus 15,000 and plus 7,500. And then they announced him versus Usyk, and I was like, let's go. Because if he beats Usyk, he either gets a title shot or one more fight and then a title shot. And that could have been really good for the futures ticket. But then they decided to move Usyk. Now Usyk's fighting Brandon Moreno on another card. That's going to be probably a title eliminator. And Asu Amabayev instead is fighting Alan Nascimento, which is a winnable fight for him, but it's low-key a pretty hard fight. And it's not really going to do a ton for him in terms of getting him into the title picture. But for this fight, Kai Kara France versus Alexander Pantoja, I'm really excited about it. And Pantoja is one of my favorite fighters. He's my favorite flyweight. The dude is an absolute beast. And he's killing it, man. He came out there, he got the title, and then he's just been beating guys left and right. And it's crazy. Like everyone talks about how his cardio is kind of bad, and then he comes in there, and even when he looks tired, he's still grinding it out in the fifth and the fourth rounds. He's taking challenges that most wouldn't take. He gave Usyk a shot when Usyk only had 3 fights in the UFC. He gave Kaya Sakura a shot, dominated him, and now he's giving Kai Kara France a shot. And I don't think this is an easy fight by any means for Pantoja. At the current line, I think Pantoja is like minus 275 or something. And I think Kai Kara France is like plus 240. I feel like it's already a bit wide and it's only going to get a bit wider. Kai Kara France, he's an elite counter grappling. His counter grappling is so good. The way he did, who was it? Oscar Oskarov. The way he did, who else tried to grapple him? Blanking off the top of my head, but he's a really good counter grappler. His takedown defense is really, really good. His scrambling is really, really good. His cardio is good. And I think he's a better striker than Pantoja. I think he hits harder than Pantoja. So I really do think that Kai Kara France is live there, and I might end up taking a shot on him if the line is as wide as it currently is, or if it gets even wider. I do think that Pantoja is the rightful favorite. I think that Pantoja's grappling is just a completely different level. I think he's a better grappler than anybody that Kai Kara France has fought. So it is going to be a challenge, but I think it's a challenge that Kai could pass. And they have fought already. It's kind of a rematch. They fought on the Ultimate Fighter. It was a pretty competitive fight that Pantoja did win, but that was so long ago in their careers. And Kai Kara France's counter grappling has gotten a lot better since then. And I just think he's going to really pose Pantoja a challenge. I think he's one of the toughest fights that Pantoja has gotten recently. And you watch some of these fights, like Usyk, for example, right? Usyk was having a ton of success on the feet. And if he didn't make the mistake that he made in the 5th round trying to grapple Pantoja, he could have won that fight. And Kai Kara France isn't going to grapple Pantoja. He's not going to do that. He's going to keep it on the feet or try to keep it on the feet. And he's going to want to strike with Pantoja. So I really think that Kai's got one of the best chances from anybody in the flyweight division. And I think that he can't unseat Pantoja. It wouldn't be that great for my futures ticket because if he wins, there's going to be a rematch probably because Pantoja's been so dominant. And then I'm really probably not going to hit that Asu Almabayev ticket. But I wish that I could. I hope I could. Plus 15,000 is kind of crazy. But anyways, I do think that Pantoja is the rightful favorite, but it's a dog or pass spot for me on the line. And I think Kai Kara France is being really underrated again. He was underrated against Usyk. He was like plus 250 before the fight started. I ended up playing it like right before the fight started. And I didn't think he was going to knock him out, but the line didn't make sense to me. There was nowhere that Usyk was so much better than Kai that he should have such a big line. Like he's a better grappler, yeah, but Kai's takedown defense and scrambling is so good. But it didn't even get to that. Kai knocked him out early, and that was that. So yeah, I'm super excited for this fight. I think it's probably the best flyweight match they could put together right now, and it's going to be super competitive. And I love the flyweight division. It's getting better and better. It's starting to slowly get stacked. There's a lot of good guys in the division, a lot of good guys working their way up. Guys like Asu Almabayev, guys like can't count out what's his name? Tatsuro Taira. Can't count him out just because he lost to Royval. He'll be back. That kid is still super young and he's a beast. And then we have the Ultimate Fighter coming up. I'll be doing a video on that. It's going to be flyweights and welterweights. So I'm sure they're going to find a few other good flyweights. I'm pretty sure I know one person being on the show. Can't talk about it, but I am excited to see them compete if it's true. But regardless, we're getting Kai Kara France versus Alexander Pantoja, UFC 314, and it is going to be a sick fight. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.